Hi everyone, it's Heather here at Creative Faith Art Studio, and today I just wanted to show you really quickly what I made over the last few days, and then what I'm going to do to kind of finish these off. So these are two little mini journals that I made. They measure 4 by 6, and I just made them from cardstock and one signature, and I stitched the signature in using my machine. So really actually quick to make. It took me a little longer to make up just because I was kind of going through a process of kind of what I liked and what I wanted to include. But I'm really happy with the way they turned out. So these are little clips that I, Stitches by Julia, did a tutorial on making these. She made these little flower embellishments in a video, and I really liked them. I think hers were a little different. She did more of a just watercolor in hers, and these I actually added some Posca pens to give them a little more color. And then I used an idea from Paula, and I'll link to both these people in my down below, but she made some paper clips where the paper clip is hidden. So I took some chipboard, and excuse my fingernail polish, and she just covered the one side of the clip, so when you clip it onto something, you know, the clip is hidden. It's not hidden on the inside, obviously, but yeah, I really liked both of those ideas. So I took I just put a little distress ink around the outside of these and stamped my initials and the date on those. And then I used an eyelet to layer the paper. So again, I'll link to their tutorials, and so you can see both of those and how they did that. So these are made from a piece of just cardstock. Now I could have used two-sided cardstock, but I didn't. It's a piece of cardstock. It measures 8 inches wide by 6 inches high, and then I just scored it down the middle. I used a 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and so one sheet of cardstock made 2 outside covers, and then 2 inside covers. So like this one, you know, I could made this outside cover and this outside cover, and then I had enough to make 2 panels to cover the inside of this book. So if that makes sense. And once I get my process down, where it doesn't take me, because these really took me all day, because I really just kind of put my heart into it. I was kind of lost in the whole process, and I came down over the course of a day down to my craft room, I don't know, like 4 times, and I was like, I'll do a little now, and I did a little later, and I did a little more, and added this and added that. So anyway, so but I just wanted to show you these. So some of the things that I used, when I say I'm trying to figure out my process, I guess what I'd like to do is eventually be able to sell something like this. And there's a few little stores that they have product like this where I don't know if they do it on consignment or if they purchase things that they like and then they sell them in the store, but there's a couple places I'd like to approach to see if I could be one of their featured artists. Whether or not I get the nerve to do that is a good question, but I'd like to do it. So some of the things, like I have a lot of art supplies, and then I also have a lot of sketches and watercolor paintings and watercolor sketches and Bible quotes and hand lettering. I have a lot of stuff. So I just thought this would be kind of a neat way to add my own art to something, you know, whenever I can. So like this is something from my watercolor sketchbook, and I just scanned it in and printed it out and then cut the paper around what I wanted to use. This little crescent moon is actually, you know, when I made these flowers, I was going to make them a lot bigger, and I made them smaller. So this is actually just where I cut the circle I think this is actually the same one out of that circle. See? It's like a puzzle. And so, but I really liked the way that worked out. These, this piece is actually, I bought these stamps at a thrift store for like $2, $2.50. And I really liked them, but I wanted to test them out to see how they worked. And so these two pieces were just one long piece of paper that I stamped on, and I liked the way they turned out. So I just added the DREAM here and here, and put them on the journal. So I'm going to do a quick flip through of one of these. They're similar, so I'm not going to do both of them. But then I'm also going to just add some little tags. I've got some things laid out that I'm going to, kind of distress and stitch a little on, just to kind of tie in the stitching that's on the outside to the pages that are on the inside, and then also add a little ephemera pack. So if someone were to purchase something like this, they could say, they could have something tucked in this back pocket or whatever to use in their journal. So, so again, the journal I made from cardstock, 6x8 piece of cardstock, and then I just scored it down the middle. When I put the inside cover on, I did use some washi tape to kind of reinforce that because I knew I'd be stitching the pages in. I took took all of the pages that I knew I was going to use, and I stacked them up and I measured them. So they are 7 3/4 inch wide by 5 and I think it was 7/8 inch tall. So there's a little, not much of an overlap, but I knew, how when you fold paper in half, the inside pages stick out a little more if they're all measured the same size. And I don't have a large paper trimmer where you could, cut that off to make them all even. And quite frankly, I don't mind that they're not even. So some people might, and then they just wouldn't get this one. But yeah, so I measured all the pages and then I cut them down to size. I actually tried to cut them all at once, and because of the doilies and it just was not a good idea. So don't recommend that. But yeah, so there's just some lined paper, some little tuck spots here. There's, again, some of my printed paper, my printed pattern paper from my website. This is a linen, I don't think you can see, but it's an old writing tablet that I found at the thrift store. So it's like a linen, it's a linen paper. It's actually really pretty. It'd be nice to do calligraphy on that. I took an envelope and I just, I stitched it in, and then I slit here. So there's an envelope on each side, another doily. I put some vellum paper in. This is just scrap paper. There's another piece of that linen, and then it just kind of repeats on the way back. So envelope, some of that linen paper, and some printed paper. So I did take some time to stitch around this. I added some stitching to the cover to stitch this down before I added the inside cover, so that that wouldn't be showing. And then I stitched around to kind of reinforce, and then just add some decorative edging. I stitched around the whole, the front cover and the back cover. This is just I stamped on an old book page, and yeah, that's it. I put a little eyelet in the back here and tied a ribbon through it to close, and that's that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm not going to not going to record my stitching it, but I am going to do some stitching on these tags to, I kind of have a set for each of them that are similar. So there's a bag, and then I took one of these big oversized index cards and just cut it in half since it's such a small little journal. I have some of these tags, which are kind of I don't know if you can see it. There's like a little white border around it. I think these are so pretty. It's just white on the back. And I may do some hand lettering on it. I'm not sure yet. I have some gold embossing powder that looks really lovely on this. So I may do that, but I might not. And then I have just some scraps, a little bit of lace and some old flannel that I was going to stitch on, to these. And so I'm just going to do a little bit of the distressing before I get out my sewing machine, and then let you see kind of what I'm going to do with that. And then I'll show you what happens when I'm done. Okay, so here I just have some distress inks from Tim Holtz. They're the mini versions because I didn't really know what they did when I purchased them. I kind of wanted to just try them out, and you got kind of a nice selection of the product. So I used, I got out antique linen, but I didn't use it. So I'm using vintage photo, and then I think it's some sort of berry something, but I just kind of go around the edges of everything, and I crumple up that bag to give it a little more texture, and then I distress that. So it's pretty basic, and then I take everything to my sewing machine. Okay, so I finished the stitching on the little tags. So here's one. There's Marley. So in both books they're similar. I've already added the little tags to this one, but I just wanted to see what I did. So I just stitched down the side. This is one of those little scraps, the dream with a dream stamp that's on the cover. I just distressed. You saw me distress everything, and there's a little bag I'm going to use. Little tag, index card that I put some purple distress ink and this ribbon I stitched on. On this one it's just vellum over the top. I used this variegated variegated thread, which I really do like. I got a whole pack of it. It was for a quilting project. I've referred to that quilting project a couple times because I really was excited about it, but it was a total disaster. That's my mom. My mom is like an amazing artist, and quilting is like, she's so good at it. And she's good at painting, and she can draw anything. She's just amazing. But yeah, I can't put a quilt together to save my life. And she just like, I made a quilt yesterday. Like, well, good for you. No, she's awesome. But so yeah, little piece of vellum on that. This was like a full size index card. I just cut in half because they're little. So I put one in this one, and then one for here. Here is that little piece of flannel and a little bit of lace, and I just stitched that on kind of sloppy. And then that one little pretty tag that I like, I just put distress ink around it. So what I'm going to do now is add it to the journal, kind of where I would put it. Now, of course, people do their own thing, so, which is good. But I'm just going to tuck things in kind of where I think I would put them if this were my journal, and then people can, rearrange if this happens to fall into someone's hands ever. Just kind of give people an idea of, where things could go. Let's see. Here, this guy can go in here. I'll bend that. to trim the top of this bag off, this back flap. Make a little pocket, I think. Because who doesn't like an extra pocket? And then this tag will go in here because it fits pretty nicely. And last one. Let's see if we can find a good place for this one. Maybe we'll just, put it right here. And there you go. So there you are. Little journal. Little neat little paper clip you can use anywhere you want and mark your page where you're at or whatever. So yeah, pretty happy with the way this turned out. Still has, lots of room to journal in. There's still little places you can, if someone would want to, adhere this down, they'd have another little tuck spot here and another one here. Some kind of pretty paper to write on. That linen paper, I really like that a lot. I wish I had more of that. Kind of that crinkly bag. I love the way that sounds. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to upload a video once a week at least. And then I have some exciting things coming up. I'll be adding more downloads to my website, so you can print your own paper and stickers and ephemera, and it's all custom artwork or vintage linens, and I really appreciate watching. So thanks so much, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.